Hey guys, True Grit Scott here. I'm going to try to give you guys, I don't know, maybe I'm in the frame. Anyhow, I'm going to try to do a video of flattening a slab on my router jig. I have a hard time doing this. Never comes out great, but I'm going to give it a try and put it together just to show you guys what I'm doing. Anyhow, let me see. I don't have a remote or pause or anything. Anyhow, this is a piece of spalted maple. It was kind of a crappy piece because I just reset this up. We're up in the barn now. Had this out in the driveway for months and months and had it under a tarp, and finally I moved it up here to the barn. Anyhow, linear rails, basic table build, nothing overly fancy. I can move these boards depending on how I need them for the piece of wood. And then more linear rails. Router. I don't know if you could see it, but it's a bit extension to get that bit down, and we just welded up a couple pieces of plate to make that. My buddy Tony Elder calls it a top hat, an upside down top hat to hold the router down in. And I'm going to try to pause this and get a little video of me planing that off. Hard maple. Okay guys, True Grit Scott. You can see I started planing off a little bit of that. It was so wonky and out of shape that I knocked a little bit down. I also have the generator running out here that you can hear to run the router, just because we're a little bit far from the house and I don't have power out in the barn. Anyhow, I'm going to pause you and then hopefully get a couple passes so you can see what we're doing. I think I'm taking off about I don't know, 3/16 of an inch so far, so I'll get to it and show you. I'm going to pause you again for a second so I can show you something, how much we're taking off, and a couple of the problems that I'm having right here. Well guys, there's probably a better way to do this, but in the deep spots there, right here, that's about 3/16 or so. Then it comes up to about 1/8, and then it drops down to a good 3/16 on that end. One of the problems that I'm having is I think the generator doesn't supply quite as much power to the router as I want, because it doesn't seem as powerful as when I have it direct into a 20 amp circuit. The other problem that I'm having is this end here, between here and here, and the other end get a little wonky as I'm moving it back and forth. They kind of, you know, one end gets more narrow, one end spreads out so it doesn't slide perfectly, so I got to kind of keep my hand to keep it going straight. I really need to put a strap of metal on each side to keep it square. But I just moved this up here, and this is the first test cut to make sure everything's okay and in level. I'm going to pause you guys again, and then I'm going to hit it and finish off that slab real quick. don't know if you can hear me. Anyhow. Again, this was a piece of maple that I had just laying out. It wasn't even in the stack, so it was kind of laying out. And you could see that the finish is pretty good, except for where I went a little bit deep right here. I could see it. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. But it's kind of an interesting piece of spalted maple. I got to get a little deeper right over here. Clean that up, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll do something with it. Maybe it'll be firewood. Anyhow, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.